What's up, y'all, man? Godly, man. It's time to spurt out that dirt. Growth has chosen you and purpose awaits. So I was led to spend some time outdoors in nature today. And while I was out there, I found myself staring into the wooded area filled with trees. As I gazed into the layers of the tall winter bare trees slightly swaying with the wind motion, I heard one of the trees call my name. Like I literally heard it say Aaron. It was like a whisper, like a soft whisper. I thought I was tripping. Then it spoke to my spirit again, and with an obvious sway gesture as if to summon me over to converse. So I approached the tree, and the tree asked in question, "What's wrong? Why are you worried?" I asked the tree, "What makes you think that I'm worried?" The tree said, "I'm very wise. I understand that look and feeling you are suppressing is at best, but you can tell. I can tell. And you're having something causing delay and concern, and it's withholding a very important decision you need to make. What worries you?" I was silent because there was something on my spirit, but I didn't want to admit it honestly because I wasn't aware I was given the sense of worry or doubt off that obviously, especially to a tree. But at the same time, it would be a tree to easily be able to notice what I was allowing myself to overthink on in this moment. So the tree then said, "You're ready, right? I could tell you're ready. You're fully ready, but something is holding you back. You're ready to break through the dirt and expose your commitment to your next level of growth, but something is making you weary of proceeding confidently. What is it? Is it the unknown to come? Or is it the doubt in your ability? Or is it others witnessing your growth and realizing that the dirt all around you at such point now has an obvious owner in exposing this transition, or being exposed in this transition?" I was in shock, honestly, because that was exactly it. I replied, "Yes. It's not that I'm in fear of my dirt, but more so just knowing and having a hard time accepting the hatred, the discouragement, the negative responses, a lack of support, and perception from others. It's like I know I can't reverse back underground after I break through, and will just have to endure the pain of all the persecution and unwarranted judgment until it ceases. And at such point, I feel like I may become very depressed and discouraged if I don't feel an equal, if not more, support and love as well. I'm just unsure of what to expect, really, exactly, and really in question as to why it even has to be like this in general. Honestly, the world is just so cruel. Like, why can't it just be applause and congrats and for the level up? You know what I'm saying? Like, the tree comforted me in spirit and said, the thing about growth when it comes to trees is, even as seeds, we already know our purpose and what must occur for our ultimate destiny to be achieved. We know that when we are planted, wherever God decides to plant us, that we have this brief life of self-awareness, clarity, before we naturally are moved to accepting death to proceed into the process of germination, so that we can grow our roots way deep and wide into the ground, to be able to have that solid structure locked in for that foundation, so that we, no matter how big and tall we grow to be, we can't be moved or uprooted by wind and storms. This all happens before we even break through the ground and are exposed above ground. So much growth happens underneath, where no one ever sees, for us as trees to even successfully be able to grow as tall and heavy and purposeful as we all are. 1 Corinthians 15:36-38 says, "Foolish person, when you sow a seed, it must first die in the ground before it can live and grow. And when you sow it, it does not have the same body it will have later. And what you sow is only a bare seed. It may be wheat or something else, but God gives it a body that He has planned for it. And God gives each kind of seed its own body." So although we all are trees, we all are actually set apart uniquely from each other. Yet we all go through the same transition to serve our main purpose. And some of us even go on to fulfill other destinies, destinies that God has envisioned for us, perhaps none of which are actually chosen by us significantly as the trees. We just know our main purpose and what the possibilities are thereafter. And we're just grateful to actually just be born to live, to serve God by simply existing how he designed specifically for the life of each of us collectively. Some of us become fire for wood. Some of us, we become housing porches and roofs. Some of us become wood grain interior and luxury cars, or fine dining tables in 5-star restaurants, or even boats and ships that travel the seas, or nesting ground for eagles. But a minority of us just serve the greatest purpose of all as a priority for us all, which is the first assignment, which is providing the oxygen let off that you as a collective of human beings need to be able to breathe and continue living. And God has also saw to it that out of his love, this was to be the main purpose of our existence, regardless. So none of us complain. We already know how important we are to God, because we understand as seeds how important you all are to God as humans. And this gives room for gratitude in the simple blessings that are overlooked by most and taken for granted, yet also give opportunity for you all as humans to see the resemblance in your lives as they compare to us as trees. For we all start as seeds. God's children, you all are collectively seeded with purpose by divine design and instilled with a heart of love and obedience to him, your creator, and given grace and the gift of eternal life through surrendering to his will for your life and living out his plans of prosperity that's promised. And he has for each of you divinely. The difference is, though, you all as humans have a choice of will to either decide to choose to die to your old self and your old ways to receive the true life of eternity, or live and keep your life and then die and lose true life. So obviously not everyone is that excited about giving up their life to be transformed like that and grow to what God has instilled inside of them. But others are willing to submit to God and receive all the blessings that making said choice to die to one's old self and live and grow as a tree does, tall and purpose serving and destiny driven, intimately fulfilling, a life worth living on earth, and then ultimately receiving eternal life after. But it does include the willingness to die to the old self. That is the tough part. And really, most who choose not to die are just not willing to give up their dirt or detach or even be acknowledged for their living in such dirty conditions by anyone else, because of the worries and fears and doubts that one overfills with their mind while considering the decision. So they just live in their dirt and avoid the trouble. And these are often also those who are the first ones to poke fun at, judge, ridicule, persecute, and say negative things, and make those who do choose to die from their dirt and instead feel like they've made a terrible choice and should feel ashamed instead of honored and respected and inspired by and accepted. But see, the difference between humans and trees is we all understand that purpose and because of our existence by nature, and so we support and encourage each other by ensuring that we are obedient and just stick to the divine order of things all over the world. And together we really do set the scene. If you haven't noticed, summer, spring, fall, winter, it looks amazing. Very rarely do you see a lone tree standing by itself unless it's just giant and massive and really needs no extra company to crowd any more space around it. But more than often, there is a crowd of us together supporting one another. And even if one of us were to fall by natural causes, we are all there to support, if not catch our fallen brother and sister tree. They also make for great ground decor within our section of woods and become a part of the earth naturally over time anyway, which still serves as purpose. But nobody ever laughs. Nobody ever laughs for choosing to grow at another tree. In fact, there has never been a tree that hasn't grown from a seed ever in the history of treedom. Though there are those seeds who by choice decide to become grass and accept an more easier life of commonality and bladeness, still serving somewhat of a purpose. But I often do hear smart remarks and jealous jokes aimed at the random flowers in those patches of grass because they decided to stand out from the norm and follow the ways of the tree and reach for higher. Before long, they end up getting picked or multiply as they inspire others within the fields. But the reason behind the unwarranted hate from the grass is quite obvious. The grass want to feel better about what they don't have the courage to do, and have to make sure they are mean enough to the flowers to not give away the indication that they are actually jealous and wish they too could become a flower. And they don't want to look they actually don't want to look and act the exact same as the 100 other blades in their immediate surrounding. And I think that is exactly what happens with you humans as well, unfortunately. Instead of truly being grateful and just embodying the pure love for your neighbors as oneself, like God suggests with emphasis multiple times in the word, humans just have such a hate in their heart and envy and fear at the same time. They certainly never want to be noticed or for anything low or lacking or that would draw attention to the truth that may be exposed if they don't put the spotlight on whoever or whatever is actually their truth that they can't accept. They're just not ready to accept about themselves this truth, and especially when it comes to choosing growth and leaving that old life behind and becoming the greatness that God has instilled inside you all. It's easier just to live a lie and never be noticed by anyone, so they don't have to feel the same hurt they intentionally feel or intentionally give others who actually have the courage to face their truths and make the choice that most actually wish they could and probably would really like to, but don't know how to accept what it takes and don't want to be noticed having interest or being supportive or motivated to follow someone else because it's right or good and not of selfish intention or surface level elevation. And hate is the only way they know how to show any emotion sometimes, because they actually probably hate something about themselves, and that is the main issue with the world as far as humans. You all could learn a lot, so much from trees. I will tell you this though, and you can stand comfortably on this fact, the tree says, when you realize this, in order for others to actually recognize your dirt as yours, they would have to acknowledge the fact that you have now died to your dirt and have grown through it. So in actuality, for real, no matter how they try, they can't actually attach any of that dirt to your actual being at that point at all, because that is the whole purpose of dying to it. You accepted that old life was no longer something you were going to live as and be identified with, yet instead allow what your dirt was to be made into the perfect ground fertilizer to produce the best situation and setup for your growth. And those people who give negative reactions out of fear of self-truth are actually included in the rain that you'll need, that God will also see that is provided to ensure your growth is fully inclusive with all needed ingredients, so you do grow and produce the fruits you were made to bear. And because you did decide to grow, I'm sure you know that just by breaking through the dirt even and owning it proudly says a whole lot about you. And the fruit you provide already upon your breakthrough is courage, faith over fear, maturity, self-respect, wisdom and understanding for the value of life, respect for God's plan and for your life, and love, not only for yourself, but others. The others who will not be cruel or give hate, but will be inspired and motivated and encouraged to do the same. And just wanted to know that they are not alone in this and are supported, or just actually may need help in making the choice to transition as well. And even those who laugh and joke and hate may one day secretly find a way to ask you as well for some help or guidance in doing the same thing, finally, or making the same choice. And out of love, you got to make sure that you keep an open heart to provide that for them, because you already understand why they actually treated you the way they did initially anyway. And there's no reason with a God love in your heart that you should have any desire to make those people feel any worse or smaller than they actually already feel deep down. This certainly brings clarity to knowing that your dirt has actual purpose. And God knew that through your will to grow would always play a major part. And this is why he allowed your dirt to accumulate so massively, because you would help so many others, and thus others making the choice to grow would allow their dirt to serve purpose as well. as well as does all of our dirt. For without it, how would we grow? There is literally no other way, by fact. And who knows, I sense that it's an even harder move to commit to, because I'm sure God hasn't revealed you the full destined promise of all he has instilled and what's to come with it inside of you. But I know that if your dirt is that much concerning and you're thinking about it this deeply right now, it must be massive and abundant and complete life-changing. Extremely worth it, probably, even if you change how others view such a process, which is for the greater good of humanity anyway, because ideally no one should have to feel in fear or worry about choosing to die to their old life and grow from a seed to a tree, especially based on what is expected from others who should be encouraging and supportive out of pure love to doing the same as you. As humans all have the same choice to make at some point in your life regardless. And it's unfortunate to think that most would actually choose to just live in their dirt and die unhappy and at a total loss because they wanted to avoid the expected from such a hateful world, even when they actually really wanted to grow, but they let the fear choose for them. And I'm sure it actually makes God very sad as well, I'm sure, because it's unfair, really. The humans need people willing to make the choice proud, confident, and boldly like yourself and unapologetic. Because at the end of the day, you are doing the will of God. So if he is pleased and is the only one who can judge you truly for it, does it really even matter? At the end of the day, your choice, you no longer are associated with your dirt as a living being. At the point you are exposed as breaking out of it. So own it, share what you've learned from it, and allow it all to inspire a world collective of many others awaiting your courage to step into your call, regardless the little voices underground you'll hear when you pop out. You are ready. Don't allow them to hold you back and make you choose the fear route as they have. You're already halfway through anyway, because all your underground root work and shadow work and truth digging, and I'm sure has already been completed if the contemplated concerns are this heavy on you right now. Allow this wisdom from a tree that knows you've got something very special within your seed, and God is ready to expedite your growth. And I have a feeling your size and reach and impact, your fruits produced and fulfillment ultimately are going to be far more than you could ever imagine. It's time to spurt out your dirt. It will all just be your immediate surrounding grounds before you know it. And all the focus will actually be on all that you become and produce as you grow. And I'm for certain it will overshadow all of that dirt in no time. I can tell you're a mustard seed type of human. Small yet mighty and vast. Very important to so many others for ways that you can't even understand right now. But God has prepared you for this breakthrough. And the enemy hoped you don't swallow that fear and put on that courage and step with a whole 2 feet of faith and announce your arrival as you do it. Just so you can get a head start. Enjoy that noise upon so it sounds like a gladiator arena of applause and commotion. But still tune it out and just bask in the fact that they are only admitting to not being able to do what you've done, and they really need your help probably. And to consider all of those included in said fact, I commend you, because your love for others and God and obedience to his surrendered will is what makes us trees proud to serve his purpose for humans as well. There's still a little hope for humanity with humans like you. Genesis 2:9 says, the Lord God caused every beautiful tree and every tree that was good for food to grow out of the ground. In the middle of the garden, God put the tree that gives life and also the tree that gives knowledge and good and evil. Now, to me, it sounds like you might be a part of that lineage or play just as much as an important part, my guy. Give life to others by inspiring the choice to claim it themselves without fear, and share all your dirt has provided you to ensure your life choices moving forward remain squeaky clean. And I was really appreciative of this tree's wise words and encouraging story. And the universe really does ensure you get the message when it's needed, because after this conversation I was fully ready to break through and spirit out and spurred out my dirt finally. No longer in fear, worry, or doubt about anything to come as I prepared to step up to the unknown above ground, never to return to my roots or dirt I've died to again, unless for references, help, inquiry of others, or proof of how far God has brought me and how far I made the choice to continue coming, and eventually to compare to myself how far I was willing to go and reach after almost allowing worry and fear to negatively be a hateful reactions, almost allowed them just to hold me back from fully transitioning. But a talking tree helped me make all the difference. And I have it to thank, and because of it, I'll ensure that I take the time to talk as the tree did to me, to so many others. Because I know a lot of folk are just right below the surface of the same critical choice in their life right now. Ready as ever, but just a little resistance in the back of their mind. Allow this message to seep deep, just as the proper amount of water needed in this moment to boost your confidence and allow your growth to become obvious to all. It's time to spurt out your dirt proudly. The tree God chose you to be is ready to grow up fully and claim its space in this world and fulfill the purpose that only your tree that you are has the divine ability and power to do and be. Not to mention, there are others watching and anxious to be inspired and encouraged, and even some to cast negativity before they seek your direct assistance to find what it takes within themselves to make such an impactful choice for not only themselves and their life ultimately, but for the collective greater good of humanity. How about we be like the trees and just all be in harmony instead of competition. Share love and support instead of downplaying or making it hard for others to feel comfortable and safe to do something that should feel easy and accepted with so much love and openness. The choice to die to old dirt and old ways is one of the most obedient, loving, surrendering things you can choose to do for God. And with the greater good of fulfilling one's purpose in doing so, that ever could be considered for any and every human on this planet. Eternal life is the ultimate reward, but growth is truly fulfilling as a whole. Could you imagine a world where there seems like there are just a lot more good giving trees all of a sudden? Figuratively speaking, we through love, each of us are naturally existing, ensuring each other, or we should be, is given the opportunity to breathe and actually break free and feel alive from the prison of underground conformities and comfort that becomes the only other option if the world remains so cruel and envious and ready to cut each other down when good choices are chosen and noticed. Don't you want to see what kind of purpose the tree God instilled inside of your seed will be? Take the chance and make the choice. Accept the change. It's a beautiful death, and remember, you get a better life back anyway. What's left detached behind you only serves of what brought you to such a point, and perhaps it's the most important decision of your life, and nobody can truly judge you for any of it that matters really, but who you should be more than willing to do it for, because unlike most of us humans, he isn't going to judge you at all. In fact, he will bless you, support you, help you, and provide what's needed and guide you on your path moving forward. And not to mention, he's going to ensure that you feel that love. You feel how proud and pleased of your choice as an obedient seed and surrendering to his prosperous plan and will for your life as he had promised you, and all of us collectively that he is. So through love and respect for one another as neighbors, brothers and sisters, and other souls that share this planet, we can make the change to make such a heavy and personal choice be so easy and supported for us all. No matter what kind of dirt you used to live in, that isn't you anymore. And after you choose the you that you truly are supposed to be instead of the you that can't let go of that old seed, you'll feel a lot better, and you'll already be making way to serving your purpose already. So allow this message to resonate, and like I said, if you're on the cusp of making a choice to really change your life and, dying to your old ways and your old habits and closing that door behind you and allowing your dirt to serve purpose proudly, and owning the fact that that no longer resonates or represents you at all. Those aren't the choices you make. That isn't the lifestyle that you're involved in, but it has served its purpose. And even further than that, once you break free from it, others can see, and it can serve purpose for them, and however it may. Some of us are right below the surface like I am. This is that choice to fully break through and be exposed that you making efforts to grow, as you've already chosen the choice to die to your old ways. You've rooted down securely. You ain't going nowhere or being moved. And this is more so for God, out of love for yourself and others, and anybody that would positively benefit, as far as a collective of humans that we are, and hopefully to inspire all of us to begin to intentionally give love, have love as the intent that is out there awaiting for others in support and acceptance and applaud and assistance and just encouragement. I think in strengthening each other as we should, as it always talks in the word, love yourselves, love your neighbors, love them equally. That's a main thing for God, because he loves us so much. Why can't we love our neighbors who we have seen versus a God who we haven't seen? It just doesn't make sense. So allow us to be like the trees. You see how beautiful their lives end up and how longevitized their lives are, especially how important and purpose that they are to us. What if they was on the same type tip, right? They would probably hate each other because they really fighting for a destiny after such purpose, right? Let's take inspiration from this talking tree, this wise tree that I conversed with and got this download and was able to see to it that you all received this message and I received this message, because I'm very inspired to make this next transitional step in my growth process and become the true tree by purpose and divine plan that God has instilled in me to be, and I'm right underneath of the surface. But right now I'm taking ownership of my dirt, and I'm ready to allow it to fulfill its purpose, and hopefully that it creates a huge impact in the world. But even just by a little bit, I'm making the choice. I'm saying that use me, Lord. I'm ready, because I'm not going to cower and remain alive in my dirt just so I'm not noticed in correlation to the dirt, or don't receive scrutiny or negative feedback. I'm going to be the sample or the example of what to do and how to react in those situations, and hopefully I can help those who are actually having trouble with accepting the truth or accepting the lack of courage that they have and don't want to be put the spotlight on. I want to be there with open arms and saying, hey, if you need help, I was feeling like that too before I broke through and spurt out my dirt, but I can help you and make sure that you feel comforted, that you feel supported, and that you don't feel any negative from anyone, and no one is making you feel small or just some whack type of way. Even if that was initially how you would react as a person, you just didn't know that this was something you were actually hiding internally and you really wanted to fix it. You didn't know how to ask. I'm here with the love naturally. I'll ask you and just be open in the veil, because I truly understand and I want to make a difference by genuinely offering my assistance and offering my support and offering my care in seeing through to this transition. We all are seeds. We all are divinely unique and special, and we all play a part collectively to see to it that this world see its ultimate purpose for the greatest good. And let's make a start right here, right now. Spurt out your dirt confidently. Own it. Share the gain that it can give to others and value from experiences, losses, choices. They don't make who you are right now when you separate from it and choose to leave it behind. They just made your path to get here, and it serves for a great purpose, because you got to have dirt to grow. So allow God to use your dirt and be obedient and become greater and receive the divinity and everything that God has coming for you, and being obedient and receive your prosperity within your plans. I hope to see you on the other side above ground. All right. Love and light, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Yeah.